Good morning, second grade teachers, and thank you for giving me your valuable time this morning. The reason we're meeting today is I'm going to be talking about some strategies that are specifically geared towards helping our diverse population of our ELL students. I know here in San Gabriel, Los Angeles, California, and throughout the United States, there's a large percentage of ELL students, and we cannot ignore their needs. We as teachers, we need to be creative and innovative in the ways that we teach writing to these students that is also CCSS aligned. So today we're going to be talking about an innovative program called Project GLAD. Project GLAD stands for Guided Language Acquisition Design, and the ultimate goal of Project GLAD is to ensure that all students, ELLs and native speakers, are able to read and write grade level text and access academic content. So today, there's over 30 to 35 different techniques that Project GLAD has that reaches out to our diverse student populations. I'm going to talk about 3 that I hope will be helpful to us in our classroom to reach out to our kids and to help them become competent and confident writers. Okay, and the first one, or the 3 that I'm going to be talking about this morning, are pictorial import charts, sentence patterning charts, and flip charts. Okay, so before I go ahead and model to you how you can utilize this in your classroom with your ELL students, I will briefly give a description for each one. So the first one I'm going to talk about is the pictorial import chart. This is a chart where in the past many of us have had posters of different topics or subjects, and before we bring the students to the classroom we have this beautiful poster, all colorful, made up for our kids. But now studies are showing that as far as our ELL population, they need to see the poster being made in front of them, and hence comes the input chart. So how this works is in my classroom we're studying about different types of reptiles, and particularly right now we're focusing on a reptile called the panther chameleon. And in the past I would have a fancy picture of a panther chameleon. I'd be up here until 5 in the evening having my chart ready for the kids and ready to go. That is not the right way to do it for our ELL students. So a more effective way to do it is to make the chart with them. Now, I'm not an artist, so a little trick that you could do before you start off with your blank piece of paper is with a pencil, you could lightly sketch the image that you want to make, and then you can trace over it with your marker. Okay, so and each time you write something, you want to say it out loud, and you want to have your students say it out loud. For example, students, today we're going to be talking about the panther chameleon. So can you say it with me? Panther chameleon. Let's spell it out. Panther chameleon. Can everybody say panther chameleon? Panther chameleon. What is a panther chameleon? Well, he likes to sit on a branch, and in your classroom you can get creative and use different colors to get the kids excited. And he has kind of like a face like a lizard, Eyes, we know that the eyes are diagonal, kind of like cat eyes, with a slit for the pupil. And the thing that is really cool about the panther chameleon is his tongue. So in the past, when I had made a chart about the panther chameleon, I would have just made the picture of the tongue and labeled it tongue. That is not enough for ELL students. Make the picture of the tongue in front of the kids, or have one of the kids come up and make it. So here is the tongue, guys. Wow, what do you notice about the tongue? And you're going to get a variety of answers, because writing all goes hand in hand with listening and speaking. Okay, so, and the main thing about Common Core is while we're writing, we want to do a lot of labeling. Pictures are very important. In the past, they have been underappreciated, underrated. We are learning that pictures are very important in helping our diverse populations. Picturing, labeling increases to vocabulary development. So I'm going to make the picture, and then I'm going to say, label how long it is. It can be anywhere from 12 to 20 inches long. Wow. So then you can make references to other things, like what is something that you have in your desk that's 12 inches long, and you'll get answers like rulers. So imagine his tongue is like 2 ruler sizes, and then instead of just writing the word tongue, add some adjectives to describe it. It is long, or have the kids help you. It's sticky, twice the size of its body, and so on. This chart can get pretty graphic and pretty immense. For the purpose of our staff development, I've kept it small, but you can have it quite large. And you have to also look at the specifics or the dynamics of your own classroom to see how much information can this specific classroom take in one sitting. If you can tell if your class is very enthused and they're getting all of this, and you're asking them questions and they're all responding, you can keep moving. If you feel like it's a lot of information already, then you can stop there and start again on the next day. But just an example of what the end result could look like for a pictorial chart could look something like that. It is heavy, print rich, lots of labeling, and the beauty of this is you can keep it up for the whole year, and the kids can use this as a resource to help them with their spelling. Okay, so that was called the pictorial input chart. The second strategy that I'm going to talk about are flip chants. Flip chants are chants that are content based, and they're not just for fun. The lyrics and words must be things that the students need to know and remember, and learning them to a beat. And when they're learning them to a beat that they're already familiarized with, it will help them retain the information, and it'll help them easier to recall in the future. So one of the things that is the main grammar skill that all of our kids need to know are nouns. So I made up with the help of Project Glad, let's move this to this side, okay, and here is my flip chart. And of course, once again, in our classrooms, we would make it nice and big so that it is bold and visual for everybody to see. Flip chants, I could have made it about a panther chameleon. You could tie it all together. The one I'm going to share to you is the one made up about nouns. You could do it to songs like Row, Row, Row Your Boat or Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. This one goes to the sound of the military marching song, sound off. So this is a noun sound off example. I just know what I've been told. And then you have the kids repeat after you. I just know what I've been told. Nouns name things since times of old. Noun names things since times of old. They gave our thinking wings. They gave our thinking wings. Ideas, people, places, and things. Ideas, people, places, and things. Sound off. Pronouns. Sound off. Proper nouns. Sound off. 1, 2, 3, 4 types of nouns. Adjectives describe the noun. Adjectives describe the noun. Plural, singular by ending sound. Plural, singular by ending sound. Preceded by articles. Some of the time preceded by an article. Some of the time the horse, an apple, or a dime. And so I think you guys get the idea. You don't have to be a great singer, but this makes it really fun and exciting for the children. And the main thing is it gets ingrained into their minds. The third strategy that I'm going to talk about, and once again, I'm starting off with an empty chart paper. Okay, and the third one that I'm going to talk about is called the sentence patterning chart. The sentence patterning chart main job is to teach students how to build complex sentences. It is a strategy that can be taken to reading, writing, and even developing poetry. RELL students are held accountable and they need to write complex sentences, and this is one way to help them reach that goal. So basically, we start off with a blank grid, and I'm going to continue with our study of nouns. So you can just make a line going across and then make 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 lines coming down. In the second row, write the word nouns, have somebody spell it for you, sound it out, and then make a little picture underneath it. A lot of Project Glad is having to do with a lot of visuals. So here's my person, my place, and my thing. Okay? And so for the purpose of our staff development today, the noun we'll pick is teachers. And then adjectives. Well, how do we describe teachers? And so then you can go around the classroom and ask the kids. Let's say you're talking about the panther chameleon. Tell me ways you can describe him. He's got a long tongue. He's green. He's sticky. And so on. So teachers, they're smart. They are patient. And so on. And you can make a list. And then you can make a list of verbs, which is an action word. They collaborate, they grade, they create. Okay? If your class is ready for adverbs, you can add an adverb, a propositional phrase, and so on. Okay? And then give them examples. Prepositional phrases, places, inside, besides, in front of, behind. These are things that are very hard to understand, but charting them out helps the kids visualize it and see it. Now you've got a lot of vocabulary boldly displayed in front of the students. Then you can write the first sentence with them, then start having them share sentences with you. For example, take an adjective, smart. Bring down the noun, teachers. Bring down the verb, create. Bring down the adverb or the prepositional phrase, inside. So this one goes to here. Their classroom. So that's what you're doing. So adverbs are, I left it out, but if your class, this might be something that you want to include later on in the year. You can make it as complex or simple as you need to be to reach out to the majority of your kids, and depending on what time of the year that you're teaching them. So here is, so if without this, if you ask a child to maybe write a sentence about a teacher, they might say, oh, my teacher is nice. With having a sentence patterning grid or a chart, that sentence of my teacher is very nice has now become my smart teacher can create inside the classroom. My smart teacher grades papers at home. So it's going from the simple to the complex. And like I said, this is something that could be a buffer activity. You can pick a different noun each week and have children write in their journals a different sentence using the various adjectives, verbs, prepositional phrases, and adverbs, and so on. Okay, so those are some of the strategies that Project GLAD is all about, and I hope that they were beneficial to you, and I hope you will take them back to your classroom and to help our ELL students become competent and confident writers. Thank you.